Hi parents, let's wait for 5 minutes and then we shall begin. Yeah, now. So parents will be starting shortly. So parents, we will not be taking requests. It's a live session. So we are not going to be taking requests. So you can drop in your questions in the comment box. We will read out the comments or questions to the ma'am and ma'am will be answering. Hi dear parents, very good afternoon. So we will be starting in another 2 minutes. You can drop in your questions in the comment box.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the second episode of our talk series. The topic for the day, as you all know, is multiple intelligence. Today, amongst us, we have a very esteemed guest, Ms. Smriti Thapar, who is a special needs educator, and she is going to be telling us a little more about multiple intelligence. Of course, welcome, Smriti.
Thank you, Ramana.
Of course, the Shriram family, all our parents, our staff, we are all aware of multiple intelligence, as that's part of our curriculum. We use it every day in school. But to understand it a little better, and of course for the guests who logged in today, we want to get deeper down into this topic, and for that Smriti ma'am is here, and over to you ma'am.
First of all, I would like to thank the Shriram Global School for inviting me to the talk series. A big thank you to the parents for joining in, taking out time. I hope you're all doing well and keeping safe in today's challenging times. So I would like to begin, before I begin the workshop, I would like to tell you a little more about the learning ladder, ma'am.
Yes ma'am, please let us know that, and I want to add here that Smriti ma'am is the founder of the Learning Ladder. So please do tell us, what is it all about?
So my journey with Learning Ladder began 3 years back. Our motto at Learning Ladder is, if a child does not learn the way we teach the child in the way he or she learns. This is our motto because, ma'am, a lot of time parents come up to me and say, हमारा बच्चा पढ़ता ही नहीं है, हमें समझ ही नहीं आता हम इसको कैसे पढ़ाएं, हमारा बच्चा तो बिल्कुल intelligent ही नहीं है. And I always smile, look at the parents and I say, maybe बात उल्टी भी हो सकती है. जैसे आप अपने बच्चे को पढ़ा रहे हैं, शायद वो बच्चे के लिए ठीक नहीं है.
I would like to add in here that this is absolutely, I agree with you, because for our teachers out here, we say that, there's nothing wrong with the children. It's how we have to teach, and that is why we keep inventing and innovating new ways of how we can teach the children.
Absolutely right, ma'am. So at the Learning Ladder, we teach in a multi-sensory and a hands-on way. Our sessions are centered around a theme, whether we want to improve the reading, the writing, the spelling, the vocabulary, everything is multi-sensory. But most of all at the Learning Ladder and at the Shriram Global School, we all want to develop the confidence in your child.
Absolutely, and that's the focus always, because as I keep saying this, and I'm sure Shriram parents are aware of it, I say it all the time, that just scores and academics is not enough. We want to prepare our children to be global citizens, and for that, the all-round development of the child is very, very essential.
Right, ma'am. So should we discover the way your child is intelligent? More than one way.
Definitely, we can't wait to hear what you have to say.
So let me begin with the workshop now. So parents, tell me, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when I ask you, is your child smart? The general answer is usually that the child can read a challenging book, he can solve a difficult maths puzzle easily, or finish a jigsaw puzzle in record time. This is the automatic response. But is it fair? What about those children who are gifted with different types of intelligence? Those children who are good in singing, who are good in music, who are good dancers, who are amazing athletes, the sportsmen, the children who like clay modeling, the children who like debating. These children and their unique way of thinking, when it is not addressed in a highly linguistic, mathematical classroom, where ABCs 1, 2, 3 overtake extracurricular activities at times, these children end up being labeled as dull, lazy, or dreamers. And nobody labels them more than us parents. I remember I used to do that. I used to go to a parent-teacher meeting and I used to say, because my children, my elder daughter was so fond of music. Ma'am, she's a dreamer. She's always singing and humming a song. We as parents always sometimes end up labeling our own children. So today let's break this myth, because I have come to understand and I believe a child can be intelligent in more than one ways. A child can be intelligent in multiple ways. And that is the theory of multiple intelligence by Dr. Howard Gardner. Dr. Howard Gardner is an American developmental psychologist. He did not believe in the one-size-fits-all intelligence. He did not believe a single IQ theory for all children. In fact, he believed that each child is different in more than one ways. The way they think is unique and the way they learn is dynamic. He categorized 8 types of intelligence for the children. Today, to help me with this workshop, I have a charming young girl, Jana Bambi, from Satpal Mittal School, who is going to be assisting me with the workshop. Welcome, Jana.
Thank you for such an amazing introduction, ma'am. Good afternoon, everyone.
So, Jana, tell me, what does a young girl like you do to keep herself occupied? What are your hobbies?
Oh, ma'am, I love to play music and I'm very good at drums.
A music smart child. What about your brother, Jana? What does he enjoy doing?
My brother is very much into sports and he loves playing all of the outdoor games.
A body smart, intelligent child.
Music smart, body smart, what are these?
That is the theory of multiple intelligence.
It's not how smart are you, it's how are you smart. There are 8 different types of multiple intelligences. Nature smart, naturalist intelligent, people smart, intrapersonal intelligent, self smart, intrapersonal intelligent, body smart, bodily kinesthetic, number smart, mathematical, music smart, musical, word smart, linguistic intelligent, and picture smart, spatial or visual intelligent.
That was very interesting, Jana. Should we now play a game of charades? To understand this better, you will act and I will guess.
Let's do it, ma'am.
Come on, let's make this workshop fun.
Prop 1. Reading a book.
Jana reading a book. A verbal, linguistic, intelligent or word smart child. She learns best by seeing or by hearing. She has an amazing memory with names, places and faces. This child is every mother's dream. She has read all the Harry Potters. In fact, her favorite place is a bookstore or a library. This child likes to read all the time. She reads while she's in the car, she reads at night. This child is also good at writing. She writes short poetries or short stories. Save all of them, parents. I'm sure you can publish a book with them very soon.
Yes, I'm an author, a poet and a journalist like J.K. Rowling and Rabindranath Tagore. Prop 2. Working on a calculator.
Jana working on a calculator. A word smart or mathematical linguistic intelligent child. This child is amazing with numbers. Geometrical figures, shapes, Legos, puzzle. She just loves them. This child is the child who loves algebra. Not me for sure. Algebra was my biggest fear. This child wants a logistic, scientific answer for everything. What is the shape of, why is the sun round? What is the radius of the moon? What is the speed of the fastest train? What is the density of water? What is gravity? आप थक जाओगे, इनके क्वेश्चंस खत्म नहीं होंगे, ये कभी नहीं थकेंगे.
Yes, I'm a scientist, a banker and an accountant like Isaac Newton and Albert Einstein. Prop 3. Playing with a prop.
Oh my God! Here comes a bodily, kinesthetic, intelligent child. This child is full of energy. This child is all over the place. This child uses her body to express her feelings and emotions. This is the child whom the teachers used to say when they used to go to school, "Ma'am, ये क्लास में घूमते ही रहता है, ये कभी अपनी सीट पे नहीं बैठता." और घर के अंदर ये बच्चा स्केटिंग करते रहता है, साइकिलिंग करते रहता है, खाने के टाइम डाइनिंग टेबल पे कार के साथ खेलता रहता है. This child loves sports. Karate, gymnastics, basketball, football. She will not get tired. You will get tired.
I work best while in movement. I would rather stand up than sitting still on a desk. Yes, I'm an athlete, a carpenter, a dancer, like Virat Kohli and Amitabh Bachchan.
She also studies while she's walking, not sitting.
Prop 4. Playing the drums.
A musical, intelligent, rhythmic child. This child has a keen interest for music. She picks up sounds from the environment. She likes and understands rhythms very easily. This is the child who is humming throughout the day. She's singing, she's dancing, she listens to a song on the TV or the radio, she can sing it back to you or she can dance. She is your Dance India dance child.
I have music on even while studying for my examinations. And I want to have my own rock band when I grow up.
Wow, I'm sure that'll be amazing.
Yes, and I'm a musician, a composer, a dancer and a singer like A.R. Rahman and Justin Bieber. Prop 5. Trying to organize a Hawaiian party.
Interpersonal intelligence or people smart child.
Yes, I'm an event organizer and a salesperson.
This child loves being social and being involved in social activities. This child has a lot of friends. This child is not shy at all. She'll talk to strangers. She likes to meet people. She is a people's person. In fact, she has so many friends that her parents complain, हमारा बच्चा तो अकेले रहता ही नहीं है घर में, सारे टाइम फ्रेंड्स के साथ घूमते रहता है.
Prop number 7. Watering a plant.
A naturalistic, intelligent, nature smart child. This child loves to be outdoors. This child learns well, likes to learn about living things and natural events. This is the child who likes to go on nature walks. This is the child who's always staring at the moon through the telescope, thinking, I want to be on that spaceship to the moon. This is the child who loves stray dogs, animals and birds. She's always feeding the dogs on the streets or picking up birds with broken nests and bringing them home.
Yes, I'm a botanist, a geologist and an astronaut like Neil Armstrong. Prop 7. Doing a yoga pose.
Intrapersonal, intelligent, self-smart child. This child is quiet and reserved. A lot of time, parents think that she is shy. But that is not the case, parents. She is aware of her own strengths and her weaknesses. She is independent, she is determined, she is self-confident. She is the child who does things better when she is on her own rather than being a part of a lot of people.
Yes, I'm a psychiatrist, a philosopher and a spiritual guru like Dalai Lama.
Wow, Jana, that was really nice. We had a lot of fun understanding the different kinds of intelligence. Now, should we do another activity? Should we start with some other activities?
Yes, ma'am.
So parents, what we first understood were the different types of multiple intelligence. Now I will be explaining the different learning styles to all of you. For this, Jana and I are going to do some more fun activities. So Jana, in the first activity, I'm going to show you a sheet of paper. You have to remember how many pictures are there and you're going to write them down. Should we start, Jana?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, ma'am, this was easy. I remember 15 of them.
Good. So she could easily see, memorize and write these things out. For the next activity, Jana, I'm going to orally whisper my grocery shopping list to you. Let me see how many things you can remember.
A ketchup, a toothbrush, toothpaste, hairband. Ma'am, I just don't seem to remember anymore. It is very difficult for me to remember something orally.
That's okay, Jana. It doesn't matter how you learn. For the next activity, I'm going to pretend I'm just 16 years old and we're going to do a maths concept of ascending and descending order. Jana, if I am 16, how old are you?
I'm 12, ma'am.
Okay, so in case we both have to stand in ascending order, how do we stand? Perfect. And descending order? Thank you, Jenna. So, now parents, what you just saw were the 3 different types of learning style. What is a learning style? A learning style is a way a child or an individual understands and learns things from the environment. There are 3 kinds of learning style. The first learning style is a visual learner. What Jenna did in the first activity. She was able to see things, remember them and write them down. Visual learners are good at writing and drawing. Visual learners also remember things and understand things when they read things themselves or write down things on their own. So the next time you're going to read to your child at bedtime, it's better you let your child read that book. He or she will understand it better. Jenna, what are you doing?
I'm listening to my geography notes, ma'am.
And learning them while listening to them?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so she's an auditory learner. An auditory learner learns things better when she hears them orally rather than seeing them, writing them or doing things. This child is a good listener and she is a good public speaker. This child is the one who takes active part in all class discussions because when the teacher is explaining things to them orally, she understands them and can remember them. This child has a good oral memory. She listens to a song once, she listens to a telephone number or listens to your name. She will never forget them. Playing with the ball, a kinesthetic learner. These children learn by doing things. So they like to use their hands to understand things. They like doing projects in the school. They have active hobbies in the house. These children love sports and they learn all sports very easily. Thank you, Jenna. Jenna, why don't you now explain to us the different ways in which different kind of learners study so the parents can understand how to teach the children at home. How do visual learners like to study, Jenna?
Yes, ma'am. I always try to highlight and underline the main ideas in my book. I also try to make an outline map that helps me to remember all the important ideas. While studying for the test, I write down and jot down all the important words, the spelling words, vocabulary, the math facts, or anything that I have to learn.
Wow! And what about flashcards and chalkboards, Jenna?
Oh, I always use flashcards and also color code them so as to the ones I know and the ones that I do not know yet, and also play memory games with them. For chalkboards, I always prefer to use one to write down everything on it.
I'm sure you watch a lot of television, Jenna, because that's what visual learners do. They love watching television.
Yes, ma'am.
And video games. Thank you. What about auditory learners, Jenna? How do they learn and how can we teach them how to study?
Ma'am, do you know, I always speak out aloud instead of speaking silently while reading my books.
I know, Jenna. Parents, please understand that is how an auditory learner likes to study. So when you give them a copy, you will always see them mumbling. That is the way they can retain things themselves. Do you use a tape recorder or a Walkman or something when you are studying, Jenna?
Yes, ma'am. I always use a tape recorder. I record all of my vocabulary words, spelling words, math facts, important lists, and everything that I have to learn. My parents then ask me to play that on my way riding back home, playing or skipping the ropes, or maybe even just walking.
And what about quizzing? Do you use that somehow?
Yes, ma'am. I always have my parents take quizzes for me on the chapter that I have learned.
Jenna, how do you like to study? Do you study well when there is a lot of music or a lot of sound coming from outside?
No, I would always prefer to have a silent room without any distractions. Music helps me a lot too. I always try to make rhymes and poems out of my geography and history assignments. Like India got its independence in 1947, India's Gandhiji's march was in that year too.
My God, you make studying so much fun. What about kinesthetic learners? How do they like to study?
I always use beads, blocks, coins or materials that help me understand maths in a way better way. For vocabulary and spelling words, I always trace them down on sand or salt.
Okay, but do you like to sit and study for a long time?
No ma'am, it is nearly impossible for me to sit and study. I just need short breaks in between.
Thank you so much, Jenna. You have really helped us nicely to understand the way in which different learners learn and study. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So parents, I hope that was helpful to you. I would like to add a few more things. If we look at nature, no two snowflakes are alike. No two zebras have the same stripes. Even parents, our two thumbprints are not the same. Some of us have short hair, some of us have long hair. Some of us wear spectacles, some of us don't. Were we able to choose these qualities that we were born with? Similarly, in children, are they able to choose the qualities and the skills they are born with? Some children can be academically bright, some children can be good at extracurricular activities. It's okay to be different. Let's celebrate being different because each child is wired and inspired differently. I would also like to say that a lot of parents come to me and say, "Ma'am, there is nothing special in our child." Tell us, how do we get to know what is special in our child? So I have a technique which I call the art of selective watching. In this, there are 3 ways to recognize your child. The first is active recognition. So what you do is you plan up a light up day. Parents, in the whole day, all you have to do is make your child feel special every minute. Make more eye contact with the child, hug them for no reason, kiss them for no reason. Just make them feel special. Be involved in the small activities. Instead of organizing that sports class for your child, pick up the football. Play that sport with your child. Instead of organizing some food from outside or telling them, "You want to have good food, let's go outside, or I'll order a pizza for you, or should I order a cupcake for you?" No. Bake that cake with your child. Spend time with your child. Make your child feel special every single minute of the day. The second way is value recognition. So here, if your child has done something wrong, and children are home all the time, your children are studying at home, they'll be dropping water somewhere, there will be ink marks somewhere, the elder children probably are not finishing, they're giving up their projects on time. Instead of getting upset with them and scolding them and telling them things like, "हमें तो पता ही था तुम गलत करोगे, पानी तो तुमने गिराना ही था, थोड़ा सा ध्यान से पढ़ लो, थोड़ा सा टाइम पे चीजें दो." Stop. What are we doing? Spreading our negativity to them. They will be reacting in a negative manner. The arguments will increase. But if your child says sorry at that time and you recognize the value of the child behind the action, not give importance to the action, and hug the child and say, "It doesn't matter, next time be more prepared." That will help your child more because they thrive when they are being appreciated. And lastly is the creative recognition, parents. What my whole workshop has been about. Recognize the creativity of your child. Make space for the child. If your child is good at painting from a small age, encourage him to be a painter. Tell him that yes, it's okay to have an art exhibition when you grow up. If your child is good at baking, encourage that child to have a baking workshop. If your child is good at writing, publish that book for him. Because as the Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh said, each flower has a positive seed and a negative seed. What will shine and grow in a child, in a plant, is what we nurture. Like some plants, they bloom immediately on their own. They are born with good seeds. Similarly, some children shine bright on their own. They are the school captain, they are in the debating team, they are the athlete. They don't need any help or encouragement from us. But there are some children for which we have to dig beneath the surface, for those whom we have to nurture with love and appreciation to make them shine. That is what this workshop was all about. The art of selective watering is not a technique. It is just a deep faith that your child is special just the way he or she is. We must accept the child the way they are and not how we want them to be. Thank you, parents.
Thank you, ma'am. That is very well explained. It was brilliant, and I'm sure all our parents are going to understand this concept even better now. And you have mentioned very rightly, me as a parent, I have 2 children, and of course as an educator, I had that experience, and I could tell that yes, my daughter was brilliant with music, whereas my son, as you know, is a sportsman. So we have to encourage every little talent in our child and take it forward. And that's what we encourage at Shriram. As I keep saying again and again, academics is important, but besides that, we need to encourage the talent in our children. Gone are the days when it was only about being doctors or engineers. You have a whole field of professionals out there, and we need to explore it. So thank you so much.
Most welcome, ma'am.
We've had a lot of questions in the chat box, and ma'am, it would be great if you could answer a couple of them. At least we have a few parents with us here today.
Definitely, ma'am. I would love to answer.
Right. So could we have the first question, please?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, my question is that my son, he loves to read rather than watching and learning. So, like, I want my child to be like he should learn through watching also, because sometimes we have some things which we can only see and learn rather than reading and mugging up. So I don't want him to be that type of child who just mug up things and learn.
So, welcome, ma'am. So the first thing, welcome to the workshop. Is there is no to learn and accept that you've got the best child, because if you I want my child to do it like this, it's not going to work. You said that your child is good at writing.
Yeah, he is good at writing.
Okay, so if you want him to learn things, it does not have to be mugging up. Even writing can be a lot of fun, ma'am. When he is writing, you can give him colored sheets and give him a nice, initially start with nice small storybooks which are colorful, which have illustrations. So he will immediately start reading, and then when you're explaining the story, so you're using your writing, you're using your seeing, and your hearing also. When he's listening to you tell that story, and then he will start understanding. You can do this with his small chapters. If he's in a smaller grade, a lot of interesting storybooks are there which can relate to chapters. You can get those. He will develop an interest for reading, writing, and for listening as well. But then again, the I one has to go.
Yes,
Accept
sure.
the child of
Sure.
who he is, ma'am. He's going to blossom there.
Sure, sure.
I would just
Thank
like
you,
to
ma'am.
add there that, of course, that's the one question I have a lot from parents. When they say, why are you exposing our children to each and every kind of sport or so many activities? I'm sure my child cannot excel only in a football or a cricket, or, you know, they want to focus in one sport. But then again, we at Shriram tell them that that's like imposing your wills on the child, which is not right. If you wanted to be a cricketer and you couldn't, maybe today you wanted through your child, but it's not fair. Maybe he's just not made for cricket, and maybe there's another sport, maybe football. So we expose the children to all kinds of sports, and then let the child decide for themselves. It's not for us to decide.
Very rightly said, ma'am.
We just need to recognize that talent.
And give them a push and give them a big avenue, which Shriram is doing here. Like ma'am is saying, let them be exposed to all kind of sports, all kind of activities.
So thank you, ma'am. I've learned that I should say my child, be what you want to be.
Exactly, ma'am, and you will see how much they blossom and they rise and shine.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am, can we have the next question, please?
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
Ma'am, my daughter is very creative, very good in drawing,
Okay.
and she grasps also very quickly.
Excellent.
But the thing is, she is not expressive and very shy.
Okay.
So how to go about it?
So ma'am, if I'm sure you were a part of my workshop, if your child is creative, you would have understood that she is a picture smart, visual, spatial, intelligent child, right? She's working well with colors and all, she's very creative. So that we already know that is your child's intelligence. We have also got to know your child has another intelligence, that is intrapersonal intelligence. Being shy is very worrisome for us parents. Why?
Yes.
It's not for the children. वो उनकी नेचर है. जैसे उसको आर्ट एंड क्राफ्ट करना पसंद है, उसको अपने साथ अपने ख्यालों में रहना पसंद करती है.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you push her in her creativity, so what as parent, if you want her to be more creative, yes, but don't make it a thing that आपको उसकी nature change करनी है. वो आप नहीं कर सकोगे और आप trouble होगे. But yes, in her creativity, make her participate in a group activity whenever Corona is getting better. Take her out to group person activity where yes, maybe she might start interacting more with people. But don't push her to be a very interpersonal child, man. She already has an intelligence. उसी से उसको grow and shine करने दीजिए.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thanks for your guidance.
Yes, and
Thank
we
you,
should
ma'am.
not push our children to be somebody else, ma'am. Let's not compare them to, there are 20 children in the class. Each one is different and special in their own way. So let's not compare them. The child should just compete with himself or herself.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
So thank you so much, ma'am, for this wonderful, wonderful session. I'm sure our parents are going to be going home now a lot wiser. And if parents, you have any further questions, you not need to discuss this any further, please reach out to us. We will help you connect with ma'am. And of course, we are always there to help you out in this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a lot of fun doing this workshop. And thank you once again for inviting me. Thank you, parents. I hope you enjoyed the workshop. Thank you.
Thank you.